We were staying with my grandma, and in the middle of the storm, water started coming in the house.
To hear him say he had run out of water, he didn't have food, I had two choices: fall into despair or mobilize and go into action.
Well, after the reporters leave the island, we need to continue to shed light on the conditions in Puerto Rico.
We asked Joel Rodriguez, Deputy State Director for Senator Richard Blumenthal, and Edward Nunez, Assistant Vice President for Commercial Lending at Freedom Credit Union, to provide a summary of the situation, both in Puerto Rico and here in Western New England.
The Western Mass United for Puerto Rico Coalition came together to really support long-term recovery efforts for the island of Puerto Rico and the citizens. Locally, as far as government officials are concerned, State Representative Carlos Gonzalez, City Councilor of Holyoke Josie Valentin, City Councilor of Holyoke Nelson Román, and City Councilor Adam Gomez of Springfield have all been helping us and assisting us with this effort and being the liaisons with the state and national government officials and local as well. I can say that WASA, Westfield Spanish American Association, has also stepped up to the plate. They've been in touch with the mayor of Westfield. The mayor of Westfield has committed his resources to helping out the cause here locally in Western Mass. The mayor of Springfield, Dominic Sarno, and his chief of staff, Denise Jordan, have committed their resources as well. The city of Springfield opened up 6 sites for collection sites where donors were able to bring goods that we were able to get to the island of Puerto Rico. We were able to do a shipment. So the city of Springfield has been gracious and they've been assisting us with those efforts as well. And Mayor Alex Morse has really been gracious and has taken a lead in being proactive with his city being the size and demographics of representing the citizens of Hispanic descent as well. And he's committed all of his resources as well to assisting with the efforts. On a state level, we've had conversations with Senator Warren and Congressman Neal. The message that we delivered is that we need help. We want them to really identify folks in Congress that they can align themselves with to put pressure on them so that they can in turn put pressure on other Congress members and the President of the United States of America. We went to Boston. City Councilor Josie Valentin, State Rep Carlos Gonzalez, and myself. We had a roundtable discussion with Senator Markey, and he had representatives from the entire state of Massachusetts, representation from the Latino community, because he also wanted to hear what we had to say. Senator Markey has committed to assisting us in this endeavor as well. And we also got the opportunity to speak to Governor Baker briefly, to not only thank him for sending the National Guard. He sent 6 folks from the National Guard over to help with the electrical system in Puerto Rico, but to also respectfully request that he do more. As a state that has the 5th largest Latino population in this country, we felt it was imperative to ask him to assist in the efforts even greater. But thank him for joining the cause.
Can you share an update about local efforts coordinated in Connecticut with Puerto Rico?
Absolutely. So over the last week, we have seen much movement within the national diaspora, in particular in Connecticut, where I am from Bridgeport, Hartford, Waterbury, New Haven. The support from the community has truly been inspiring and at times overwhelming. So we have Puerto Ricans in Connecticut working with a number of national organizations to ensure Puerto Rico receives the support it needs during these challenging times. So in New Haven, Connecticut, where I reside, we had a fundraiser last Sunday where the community came out in numbers. We raised $63,000 to support efforts in Puerto Rico. Hartford, Connecticut has similar events. Bridgeport had a similar event. So we are continuing to do our part as Puerto Ricans in Connecticut, as well as nationally through the National Network of Puerto Rican Organizations and the National Puerto Rican Agenda, which was created several years ago in the midst of the economic crisis. So we are going to continue to do our part to raise funds, create awareness, and fight for the resources that Puerto Rico needs during these challenging times. What we need to do, well after the TV cameras are off, the reporters leave the island, we need to continue to shed light on the conditions in Puerto Rico. Again, this is going to be a long recovery. So we need your help not only today, tomorrow, next week, next month, but in the weeks and months to come, if not longer. So we stand with Puerto Rico, and we'll continue to do our part to ensure our brothers and sisters on the island receive the support they deserve and the support that they need.
And what is your overview what in the present happened in Puerto Rico?
I, like so many others, was quite, supportive of the initial reports of military and FEMA officials heading to the island. But what we have since seen is a lack of coordination, a lack of messaging, a lack of a plan, a lack of an execution. It's unacceptable that doctors in Puerto Rico have more contact with doctors in Connecticut than they do with officials on the island. It's unacceptable that mayors in Puerto Rico have more communication with folks here in Connecticut and Massachusetts than they do with officials on the island. That is unacceptable. So we need a plan, we need clear messaging, and we need to ensure that efforts go well beyond the metropolitan area of San Juan. We need to ensure that folks throughout the island, from Aguadilla, Barranquitas, Loíza, throughout the island receive the care and support that they need, which has yet to occur.
If you would like to help, visit wgby.org/relief for links and information. Presencia, many voices, one community.
Somos una familia.
Y juntos nos levantaremos.
Together we can.
Recover as one. Como una sola comunidad.
Puerto Rico se levanta.
Our stories need to be told.
Estamos con ustedes.
As one community.
And we will recover in unity.
Puerto Rico se levanta.
Together we can.
Together we will recover.
Unidos por Puerto Rico.
Oye, Borinquen, cuánto te extraño. La nostalgia me ahoga de emoción. Estoy distante, lejos, muy lejos, pero te llevo en el corazón. Y estoy distante, lejos, muy lejos, pero te llevo en el corazón. Puerto Rico, cuánto yo diera volver a tus montes y playas también. Estoy muy lejos en otra tierra, pero algún día sé que volveré. Y me encuentro lejos en otra tierra, pero algún día sé que volveré. Solo un gigante de la plena, en homenaje a mi Isla Bella. Solo un gigante de la plena, en homenaje a mi Isla Bella. Solo un gigante de la plena, en homenaje a mi Isla Bella. Isla donde yo nací, la bella del encanto, la tierra del coquín, por eso la quiero tanto.